Welcome to the second part of the Ultimate Leader tier list in Ara History Untold. And before we jump into this tier list, a few things I have to announce. First things first, this is the second part. That means this time we will start with Charlamagne from the Holy Roman Empire and end with Shaka from Zulu. If you want to watch the first part of this whole tier list, there's a link down below in the video description. Plus, there's also a link to the tier list picture if you just want to have this in a comprehensive picture of like who is which tier. Now keep in mind, you should definitely listen to why I put certain leaders into certain tiers, because there's a lot to explain and it makes more sense when you are listening to this and not just clicking on the picture to see who ends up in which tier. Second, I have to make this very clear. I hate tier lists. I don't like them. I think they are bad for a game. I think they're just pushing harsh numbers, and that's okay to a certain extent, but video games are also about fun. Video games are about finding your own path and just sometimes think outside of the box, right? So just going down this path and say, oh no, this character is 100% better than the other one, even though you enjoy the other character more, is not really what I like to do. So why am I doing this then? Well, because you asked for it, so here we are. Last thing I have to mention, I will go through the names, then I will read the special abilities, but when it comes to the perks, I will just read through the perk names and not through every single general perk. With that said, let's jump into the tier list. And the first one is Charlamagne, the Holy Roman Empire, and he has the something Renaissance, I'm not even trying to pronounce this, which is adding 25 plus city knowledge in your capital during Golden Ages, 100% masterpiece creation speed in your capital during Golden Ages. Your palace provides 5 plus wealth and 1 plus research per turn during the Golden Age. Disciplined, formidable, efficient, persuasive. He's a B, but he borderlines on a C. And I said this before, right? The reason why he is a B is because of the efficient and the perks he has. The general perks is saving him, but his special perk is not great. It's not great at all, and he should be in the C category and not in the B category, but the general perks is, again, what saves him a little bit when we are just looking at the numbers. Especially efficient is such a crazy perk. It's the best perk, in my opinion, in the game. But this one is bad. Like, not only is this only triggering during the Golden Age, but it's also only triggering on your capital. If this would be for all cities, he would easily be a B or even an A, right? But because this is only for your capital, this is not doing the heavy lifting it's supposed to be, especially when you have to work for Golden Age. So unfortunately, a B barely thanks to the general perks, and he is more a C candidate. Then we have Pachacuti, the Inca Empire, and he has the Andean Masonry. Stone pits and their upgrades provide an additional 1 plus material per turn, 100% build production towards city walls, fortresses, and citadels. Fortresses and citadels provide 100% siege city defense. Formidable, agrarian, perfectionist, spiritual, C. No, seriously, here's a C. His special perk is ass. Like, you are literally getting 1 material out of the stone pits, which, let's be honest, here is absolutely nothing. And the build production, nobody really cares for that. And even the 100% siege defense means that your city survives another turn, and that's about it. This is not doing anything, and his general perks are ass. Agrarian is definitely one of the weakest perks in the game when it comes to positive perks, because it just gives you 1 more food, which is, again, nothing. And then you also get Perfectionist on top of that as a debuff. For what? Right? For what do you put a debuff into his lineup? He has nothing good. Ashoka, India, Conquest by Dharma. Religion improvements provide plus 10 city health. Apothecaries and clinics and their upgrades provide plus 5 religion spread strength, impulsive, adventurous, efficient, spiritual. He is an A, and I would even go so far to say to if you're really focusing on the religion aspect of him, he could be in the S category, so he's borderlining on that, but he's easily an A. Like Conquest of Dharma is really good, like all your religion improvements, which by the way, they are quite a few. You sometimes don't think too much about. They provide 10 plus city health, which is always great to have, and will make your cities grow quite quickly. Then we have apothecaries and clinics. Keep in mind, clinics can only build once, but apothecaries you can build up to 8 in your nation, and they are also providing +5 religion spread strength, which is always great when you really want to use your cities to reach other cities with your religion. Pulsive, well, nobody cares. Sorry, this is the weakest debuff they can give somebody. It doesn't matter. Adventurous, nice to have, but not really too important. Efficient, well, we talked about this perk now in length, is already making really good. And he is spiritual, which is another huge perk. Like, as I said, he is an A easily. You could argue that he could borderline the S rank. But yeah, if you're focusing on religion and you want to use your cities to spread that religion, also you want to have big cities, thanks to this perk, then this is your guy. Cesare Beccari, Italy. Tyrants never eat. Minus 33 research cost of government technologies. 100% craft production towards crafting books. Weavers, artisan studios, and their upgrades provide +5 city happiness and +5 health after books are unlocked. Collaborative, steadily, pacifist, sage, persuasive. He is another A, and again, arguing closer to the S rank, because his perk is just insane. Like the -33 research cost on government technologies, there are quite a bit of them out there, and there are even some technologies out there which will give you some army units, right? It's like government is really good because a lot, if not even most, I have to do the math on this at some point, but I would say most of the technologies are government technologies. So this is a huge boon. The 100% craft production towards books is nice. Keep in mind, the moment you're reaching the medieval/high medieval era, you will start to use a lot of books. A lot of books, especially if you're focusing on research, which you were definitely doing with this guy. So having just a lot of books you can produce, right, is such a boon. So, and you also later on need the books for upgrades. You just want them. Like this is already pretty good for what you're doing. And then the Weaver and Artisan Studios are creating city happiness and health. It's nice. Keep in mind that Weavers are limited to 8, right, in your nation. And the Artisan Studios are, I think, also limited to 8. I would have to look that up again. But keep in mind, they are both limited on a nation level. So there's a limit on how much you can get out of it, but it's still good. It is still a good perk. In combination with all of this, like, this catapults him easily in the B and A rank. And then you have collaborative, steadily. Pacifist is like, whatever. Yeah, okay. And you have sage and persuasive. So this just, again, he is easily an A rank. Then we have Tokuga Yasu from Japan. He has studied patience. Nations that declare war on you receive one war wariness. Man, that's always a word combination. It's a tongue twister for me. Each turn, your war wariness is reduced by 50%. Casa provides plus 30 security. Disciplined, aggressive, patient, sage. Here's a C. Unfortunately, like, this is not really too insane. Like, this is not really doing much. The idea is basically that you are prolonging the war as much as possible and then stack up the war wariness on the enemy while you don't have that and their cities are collapsing. But the thing I learned the most in Ara is that most of the wars are much, much faster. So a lot of the wars are being decided in the first 20 turns, so to speak. give or take. And this is not really helping. And again, a castle provides 30 plus city security. Ooh, great. For that, his general perks are A-okay. Patient is a little bit weird with aggressiveness, right? Like giving him one and giving him the other. But he's a C, actually borderlining closer to a D. But he's not completely useless. Like this is active all the time. And D is really only when you are also time limited in how good your perk is coming down to an act or something like that, like we established with Alexander, right? So yeah, he is a C. Sejong the Great, career, Hangul, 25 city knowledge and happiness in all cities for 10 turns after you finish a masterpiece. This effect does not stack. Weavers and their upgrades provide plus city knowledge after paper is unlocked. Innovative, efficient, spiritual. He is an S. Sejong the Great is an S character if you are focusing on research and knowledge. He is absolutely insane what he can do. Plus, you might think this is hard to do. This is not hard to do at all, especially later on. You can easily have a masterpiece every 10 turns, if not even faster. And so you basically will have up this perk all the time in all of your cities. That's already crazy. But weavers, we have already established you can have up to 8, and their upgrades provide also 10 plus city knowledge after paper is unlocked, which is happening super early on. Then you're getting innovative, efficient, and spiritual. Yeah, that's an ass. That's not even a discussion. That's an ass, purely when it comes to the perks and points. Yu Guan Sun, career, Unbreakable. While you're in a defense war, you have 20 plus established relationship with nations you are at peace with, 15 plus religion spread strength in each city that contains a school or one of its upgrades, 10 plus force strength in regions containing a school or one of its upgrades. This effect does not stack. Collaborative housing. I'm not reading that. Why am I reading that? Collaborative, formidable, charismatic, spiritual. She is a B because this doesn't really matter here at the beginning. Like the whole defense war stuff is like whatever. But the religion spread in each city that contains a school is pretty good, especially together with spiritual. And also having schools in your city, and as far as I know, this also counts for enemy cities, having a 10% force strength buff is pretty good, but it's not quite an A. But this is a solid B. She is definitely a solid B. Amani Renas from the Kush, Land of the Bow. Ranged units provide 50% force strength in rough terrain, 10% force strength for spearmen and archers, formidable, sage, persuasive, traditional. She is a B or a D. This is one of those characters where there is a lot of gambling involved, and you would be an absolute monster if you can pull it off, or you will have no perks. Like, rough terrain does exist quite a bit on the map, but I have tried to figure this out, and there is no way of telling that you were in rough terrain. So you never really know if you get this 50% force strength, which again, if you get it, is insane. The 10 plus 10% for spearmen and archers is just whatever. That's the first act. Nobody cares. Doesn't really do anything. The rest is A-okay. And this is why she is a B at best. If everything works. If she cannot get the rough terrain, she is a D. And I would not touch her. Like this is hardcore gambling what you were doing here. Just saying. Benito Juarez, Mexico. Son of the people, tribes will never be initially hostile towards you. Cities are founded with an additional expert, independent, steadily, efficient, persuasive. He is a B because of efficient and the rest of his perks, but he is borderlining the C. Like, tribes will never be initial hostile towards you. Who gives a damn about that in this game? And cities are funded with an additional expert. Cool. Wow, that is one extra person I can put into a building early on. That doesn't really register at all. So unfortunately, this perk is shit. His general perks are really good, and he gets, again, efficient, which is really, really good. Um, this is why I give him a B because of his general perks, but in my opinion, he is a C, and he can be grateful that he isn't worse because, again, this perk is just meh. Genghis Khan, the Mongol Empire, Lord of the Steppes, cavalry units, excluding elephant units, provide 25 plus 4 strength, and infantry, ranged and anti-cavalry units provide 1 plus 4 speed, aggressive, cunning, unyielding, adventurous, resplendent. He's an A, actually borderlining an S, as long as you can be a warmonger. Like, I will be completely honest, if you are planning to do a whole playthrough of just conquering the world and annihilating everyone, Genghis Khan is insane. Genghis Khan is absolutely insane. 25% force strength on cavalry units, all of them. Keep in mind, tanks do also count as cavalry later on, so yeah, that works. And also, all the other units are getting 1/4 speed, so they can kind of keep up with the horses, and you're not slowing down your forces if you're combining cavalry together with infantry. It's such a huge boon. Plus, his general perks, yes, Resplendent really, really sucks. Like, this is not a good one, but it's only in your capital. You can play around it, and as long as you plunder and take over the world, you are good. So he is easily an A and borderlining the S grade. Zenobia, the Palimerian Empire, Silk Road, 3 plus available merchants, trading post, and their upgrades provide city knowledge and plus 4 additional wealth per turn. Resplendent, independent, aggressive, persuasive. This is the second character who has, and we will get to another one, but she is the second character which has like something which is clearly focusing on mercantile and making money, and they're getting resplendent. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing this? She seems to be completely like focusing on being business savvy and making the money and making the resources, right? Like, why is she getting resplendent? I never understood that. But to answer the question, she is a B, borderlining a C, because she has a weird mix of general perks. And yes, the 3 additional available merchants are really, really helpful, but the trading post is not really turning this around. Like, this is nice to have, but you can only have 1 trading post, so that means we're getting 5 city knowledge and 4 plus wealth, which doesn't even register, especially later on, even with the upgrades. So she is a C. Let's make it a C, actually. Nah, she is a C. The more I'm thinking about it, this is a C, 100%, because the available merchants will not turn this around, and the general perks are like, whatever. She's a C. Sorry. Xerxes the first Persian Empire. King of Kings. 1 force cap for each city you control. 50% force strength for war chariots and mounted scouts. Disciplined, aggressive, cunning, rash, traditional. And here's a C. Why? Because getting up your force cap is not that hard in this game. Like, the bigger your cities, the more you have a force cap. So having this 1 plus force cap, I feel like, especially later on in the game, I feel never restricted because of the force cap. Right. And then, yes, the 50% force strength for war chariots and mounted scouts is insane. That's quite a bit. That means you will run the war chariots till deep into the medieval age. But at that point, they're fizzling out. They're just fizzling out. And also you were getting Rash, which is always and the rest is like okay, but nothing special. Here's a C. Sorry. Nikolaus Copernicus, Poland. Revolutionary thought. Observatories and research labs provide 10 plus city knowledge and 2 plus research per turn, 25% bonus on nation research for 10 turns after you earn a paragon, which again is not that hard to do. Not necessarily every 10 turns, but like every 20 turns, that's doable. Innovative, efficient, productive, lavish, creative. He's an S rank. The general perks alone are absolutely insane on him. And by the way, this is why I decided in the end that Zenobia is a C. She has +3 available merchants. Copernicus gets 2 just because of a general perk. Just to put that into perspective. But this one is actually not bad. Yes, I'm aware that you can only build one of them. So the amount of city knowledge and research you're getting out of this is like, could be better. But again, this nation research plus all his general perks are just so insane that yes, he is an S rank. Julius Caesar, not even say Julius anymore, the Roman Empire, triumphant legions. Forces gain 50% bonus strength when they level up, 15 plus happiness, and 20 prosperity in your city capital for 15 turns after winning a war. Disciplined, steadily, aggressive, charismatic, resplendent. Here's an A. Wait, what? Yes, his general perks are A-okay, nothing special. And this doesn't really matter too much. Like, again, yes, you would basically have to run from war to war to keep this up. And again, this is only in your capital, so we could definitely say that this is not really important. But this is insane. I've done the math on this and I've checked this in a game, and 50% bonus strength is just insane. You can basically have your knights at level 4, which is the max level, and when they reach level 4, knights will have the strength of a level 1 tank because of that 50% buff. Medieval knights on max level, which is doable, have the strength of a tank of the industrial era. Like, just think about that. It's such an insane perk to get, and it's really, really good, and that's what makes him so strong. And this is why he is an A. Like, the rest is like, not so great. If this wouldn't be here, yeah, I would definitely say he is a B at best, or if not even a C. But this makes him completely an A. It's insane, the 50% bonus strength when they level up. Katherine the Great, Russia, Siberian Expanse, +1 city cap, 2+4 speed for settlers. Your gathering hordes and their upgrades provide an additional food, and 1+ timber per turn. Innovative, efficient, charismatic, lavish, persuasive. She's an A. She is an absolute A. The city cap is really helpful. Now, you will have discussions about how much one city cap is really turning this around. I think she would be better with 2 city caps to really hammer this home, because the rest is just whatever. Like, 1+ food and 1+ timber in your city hall, in your gathering hall. It's like, why? Nobody recognizes like that amount of food. It doesn't matter. And the 4 speed for settlers, cool, you never catch the settlers, but that's also not really too much of a problem. But the perks are so good. Like, she has just a jackpot in general perks. So she is not quite an S, but she is close to it. Again, if this would be a 2+ city cap, she would be an S, but she is easily an A grade. Easy. Askia Muhammad I, the Songhai Empire. Gold Salt Trade. Trading posts and their upgrades provide +6 wealth per turn if they are next to a river. 25% harvest production at stone pits and their upgrades: sage, productive, mercantile, resplendent, spiritual. Second, well, the other character, which gets resplendent if he has gold salt trait, and it's like, why? Never understand that. He is also an A. His perks are really good. Unfortunately, he has only productive and not the efficient. But productive is still really good. Like, his perks are good. But this is what really turns this around. No, not the 6+ wealth per turn if they are next to a river. You can only build one trading post, right? It doesn't matter. But 25% harvest production at stone pits, that's not just for materials. Keep that in mind. That's for everything you are getting out of mines, stone pits, and the industrial mines later on. 25% is quite a huge deal. And this is why everything combined, even if he has resplendent, is an A grade. Isabella I, Spain, New World. 1 foresight for embarked forces, 2+4 speed for embarked forces. Mins provides city security and happiness. Religion spread strength in all cities after unlocking codices, unyielding, mercantile, seafaring, spiritual. She's a B. Because having this for embarked forces is nice. It's definitely a nice thing, but it's not too great. Again, you can only have 1 mint, and the religion spreading strength, again, nice to have, but it's not too much. That's not too much. Seafaring is definitely nice. Mercantile is nice and all that. So this is why she is a B. By the way, if she doesn't have any water, she is a D. We established that already with Elizabeth I, right? If you were choosing to have a map with no water whatsoever, they're completely losing their appeal, and they are a D. Ram Kamheng, Thailand. Thailand? Why am I saying Thailand? They have thighs, but it's not Thailand. Can't English today. White elephants. Your palace provides 1+ elephants per turn after you unlock any elephant unit. 25% force strength for forces containing elephant units. Insane. 25% harvest production at camps. Ambitious, productive, traditional, creative, spiritual. Here's an A. Especially because elephants are really strong. They're basically the tanks till you get tanks. And that's exactly how long you're running elephants. And even then, they are still pretty strong. The general perks are really good. And the force strength plus 25% when you contain an elephant unit, that's insane. Plus, the harvest production on camps is nice to have. Not too big of a deal. It's not as great as with this guy and a stone pits, but that's still pretty decent. And this is why he is an A. Like, in general, he is good. George Washington, United States. Minuteman, 10+ starting XP for all forces. 1+4 speed for all forces in square, tertiary, and trapezoid formation. Ambitious, disciplined, independent, formidable, and woodsman. I love the meme they're going with here. And yes, he is the only character which has the trait woodsman. This is unique to him, which gives you 1+ timber and logging camps and the upgrades. And with that said, he is a C. I'm sorry, George. 10+ starting XP for all forces. That's nothing. You need 100 XP for the first level. And then later on, you need hundreds and hundreds more for the later levels. Like, this is not turning it around. The 4 speed, nice to have, but you also need to be in special formations. And there would have just been better ways to do this. And the general perks are not that great either. So here's a C. Sorry, George. Simon Bolivia, Venezuela. March on Bogota, 2+ speed for forces led by a Paragon, 25% force strength in regions adjacent to rivers, disciplined, independent, adventurous, charismatic, lavish. He is a C, borderlining a B, if you can get the river thing going. Like, his general perks are A-OK, and the plus speed for forces led by a paragon. You don't really want to waste, especially at the beginning, your paragons for force speed. So it's like, is that really what you want? And then you have the force strength, but you have to be adjacent to rivers. Yes, you can play around that. You can see the rivers. You know where you need to have your units, but it's still like, it's not great. It's not great. Like, keep in mind, this dude is getting 25 force strength when you put an elephant unit in your army, which you will probably do quite a bit, and he has to be around the river the whole time. It's, again, sorry, mate. You are a B at best if you can make this work, but most of the time you are a C. Shaka from Zulu. Buffalo Horns, 25% force strength for forces in square, tertio, and trapezoid formation. Where was that for George Washington or for this dude? 50% force pillage damage, disciplined, aggressive, productive, perfectionist. He is a B, but really close to an A. Like, if he wouldn't had perfectionist, which angers me that he got this, he would be an A. He would be easily an A with productive, with the 25% force strength in those formation. The force pillage damage is whatever. Um, it does help to take over cities relatively fast or destroy things around it. Um, so yeah, but it's not really that important. This one is what really makes him strong, and combined with the rest, it's a solid B. It's a solid B. But with that said, we're at the end of the tier list. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have different opinions on who should be what, where should be who, and all that. And you can definitely let me know down below in the comments. Keep in mind, be mindful of each other, respect each other. No need to be aggressive here. There are enough YouTube channels where that is already the case, and we don't need that here. But with that said, I still hope you enjoyed it. Keep in mind, I don't really think highly on tier lists anyways, and I did this because a lot of people have asked for it. But with that said, don't forget to leave a like. And also, if you're new to the channel, you want to see more Ara videos, where we have already tons of videos of them here on the channel, or if you want to check out more strategy games, you came to the right place, and I would appreciate if you might subscribe. With that said, thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.